Now, up the way there in Washington, we have a president who measures success in government by how many people are dependent on the government. We should measure success by just the opposite, by how many people are no longer dependent on the government.
All right, back to the Monday dance card. Let's welcome back CNBC contributor, political commentator, best-selling author, radio talker, and investor Carol Roth. We're also joined now by staff writer for the Weekly Standard covering politics and those who would one day be king or queen of the realm, Michael Warren does it. Carol, good to see you again, and Michael, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mike, I'm going to start with you. Scott Walker says he has changed his view on immigration reform. There are some people saying that this is political expediency. Others say that he is learning as he goes along. Others say all he's doing is just kowtowing for votes. Where's the truth?
Why can't it be all three? I mean, he very well may be kowtowing. He may be trying to sort of position himself here. But it's also a pretty smart and savvy move. I don't think Scott Walker will ever reach a higher level of support from conservatives. And I think that translates into a perfect time to maybe ease back on some of the unorthodoxies he's made if he hasn't really thought clearly. You know, he was a state governor and certainly not a border state, not one with our southern border. And perhaps he hasn't really thought clearly about immigration and how it affects the country. This is a perfect time for him to sort of make amends with conservatives on this issue, maybe learn a little more about the issue and come to a decision. I think he comes off well on this, but if he had tried this 3 months from now, he may be in a little more trouble with a little more focus from conservatives and everyone else on what he said, what he's now saying.
All right, what do you think, Carol? Out of all those three sitting in there, I don't know, maybe Mike's got it here. It could just be smart politics at the end of the day.
It very well could be, Ed, but I really hate when the media comes down on politicians for the flip-flopping. If I'm going to elect somebody to represent me, I want them to be able to learn and grow and hear both sides of the issues and to make informed decisions. And if they learn new information, be able to change their mind instead of just being stubborn and saying it's this way and this is what I said and I'm going to stick to it for the sake of politics.
Carol, how dare you have common sense? How dare you put something like that into the elements of conversation here?
You know that I'm the chairman of the Common Sense Party, and I know that that's not politically correct, so to speak, Ed. But I don't know that this is the case with Scott Walker. I'm sure that there is some political posturing behind it. But from my perspective, I think that we need to cut politicians some slack and allow them to learn and allow them to hear other sides and to change and evolve their positions. Otherwise, we really are going to be stuck in this political stalemate forever.
All right, now, Mike, let me throw it to you because actually the point Carol makes is a good one, and it's one I've wondered for some time here because as you grow, as you get a little bit older, everybody's supposed to be able to learn. We're supposed to be able to hear all sides of an argument here. But there are those who say that if you are a politician and you do this, it is political suicide, especially in this type of a political charged atmosphere. What do you think? Personally, I don't see anything wrong with learning as you go.
I agree with that, and I think this would be different if Scott Walker had, for instance, mounted a really strong public campaign in support of a comprehensive immigration reform package, or if he had been in the Senate or the House and had been the leading co-sponsor of such a package. I mean, again, he was a governor of a Midwestern state dealing with his own issues. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have things to say about important national issues if he wants to run for president, but I think he's perhaps given a little more slack here than some members of, say, the Senate who might run for president who would change their position on a national issue. I think he does deserve a little bit of slack here, but he should also be pressed by reporters about what exactly his position is on this and why he came to change his mind on it.
Well, as far as the polling is concerned, let's see. Rand Paul wins the straw poll. Gee, what a shock. No one saw that coming. Scott Walker finishes second. But then there's those saying that Chris Christie is a candidacy that peaked too soon, and people are saying that he is out of it no matter what he does. I'm sorry, Michael. I just can't buy that. It's too early in the game.
Well, I can't buy it either. In fact, I was in New Jersey last week. I saw Chris Christie. I talked to him for a few minutes. I wrote a piece for the Weekly Standard basically saying the exact same thing you did, which is that it's too early to count him out. You know, he's got a lot of things going against him. He's had some unorthodoxies on conservative policy. Obviously, Bridgegate and the fallout from that has hurt his image. And, of course, you've got the Jerry Jones watching the Cowboys from the owner's box issue. But he's also got a lot going for him. He puts on a really good show. I saw him do a town hall meeting, the sort of thing that put him on the map, and he's a really fantastic retail politician. And he's got some interesting things to say about, of course, the state of the world, as well as economic anxiety in the middle class. And I think people who are counting him out are maybe getting ahead of themselves. He's certainly got a lot of problems,
guys,
but he's got a lot of assets too.
I love Chris Christie as much as both of you do. I think he's fantastic, but it's come to the point where his baggage has gotten so big he can't fit it in the overhead bin anymore. He's going to have to check it at the gate. And I think that on top of all the baggage that he has from Bridgegate, from being with Jerry Jones and the like, at the end of the day, he doesn't have a great track record as governor. So it's not like a Rick Perry or a Scott Walker who can hang their hat on what they've done as governor. He's had a really challenging time. And I think when you put all of those things together, I don't see how he comes out.
Come on, Carol. I'm going to stop you here on this one. What does it say about us if we actually then take a guy and decide he's not going to be president because he hugged the owner of a rival football team? Come on.
It's not that, though, Ed. It's that the perception coupled with the reality of the track record. And I think that there are too many people who have been gunning for him. As I said, I personally really like him. I like his no-nonsense attitude. But I think from the political atmosphere that we live in, I think it would be extremely challenging. I would be highly surprised. And I'm not a betting girl, but if I were an odds maker, I'd be putting pretty darn good odds on this one.
All right, Michael, I got about a minute left here. Hillary Clinton looks like April that she is finally going to announce. You're going to go with the deadline and see that's when she'll actually get started, because after all, she does have to raise money.
She does have to raise money, and you know, she actually does have to start campaigning one of these days. Her numbers have been pretty good since she isn't a candidate and she's not campaigning and she's not actively seeking the nomination. But I really think that this will be an interesting moment to watch, to see what happens in the press that's covering her and also her as a candidate once she actually does decide to jump in. Everybody knows that's what she's doing, but I think things will change dramatically. And we may, even see another Democrat jump in if she doesn't make the splash that they want to make.
Okay, and who is that? Come on, I got 10 seconds now. I'm not going to let you off easy like that.
I don't know, maybe Elizabeth Warren, maybe Martin O'Malley, the former Maryland governor. You know, somebody who's on her left, on her progressive side, who could really challenge her for that nomination.
Okay, I'm just glad to see you went with somebody other than just Elizabeth Warren, because that would have been the easy answer, which you didn't give us, so that's good. You went with O'Malley, which was excellent. Carol Roth, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Good to see you again. Michael Warren, thanks so much. We'll do it again real soon.
Thanks, Ed.
Take care, everybody. According to our next guest, the president is aiding and abetting the recruitment of terrorists. It's in the how that makes the interview more than worthy to take in. That's coming up next, right here on MidPoint.